All right, hi guys. Today we are going to go over the area for a square. So, as we should already know, the area for a square is equal to the side squared. Okay. Just a reminder, these formulas will have to be memorized. So, starting with number 1, we're going to go down to number C. Okay, most of these are pretty straightforward. All you're doing is you're taking the side that they give you and you're plugging it into the formula. So I tried to pick out a couple that you might have some issues with because they're just simply not as easy as the other ones. They have fractions or variables. So, starting with, if we go down to C, the area equals side squared. Okay, it says find the area of a square given the length of its side. So the side is 3/4, so I'm going to plug that in. So the reason why I wanted to go over this one is because I wanted to remind you that when you have a fraction, you are going to square the numerator and you are going to square the denominator. So your area here is going to be 9/16 yards squared. If you go down to the next one, letter D, our area is 3x. So if we plug in 3x for the side, I wanted to make sure you remember that it's not just the x that is squared here, it's the 3 as well, because it's 3x times 3x. So our area here is going to be 9x squared. Okay, we don't have units, they don't give us centimeters, feet, or anything like that, so we could just write units squared. Going down to number 2, find the area of a square given the length of its diagonal. So we have to be careful here because our formula is going to be different. So when we're given the length of a diagonal, the area formula is going to be 1/2 of the diagonal squared. So if you go down to letter D on this one, we have 14x. So area equals 1/2 of the diagonal squared. So I'm going to plug in the diagonal. Okay, so if we do 14 squared, we get 196 x squared. Okay, if you want, you can write it out the long way. 1/2 times 14x times 14x. If that helps, you could do it that way. Half of 196 is going to be 98. And again, since we don't have units, we just simply write units squared there. The last one I want to go over for number 2 is going to be letter E. So I'm going to write out the area formula. So again, remember, it's not just the radical 2 that's squared. Sorry guys, it's also the 6 as well. So if we write it out the long way, sometimes it makes it a little bit easier to see why that is. Multiply your coefficients, okay? 6 times 6 is 36. Radical 2 times radical 2 is radical 4. Remember that radical 4 is going to simplify to 2. So 1/2 of 36 times 2, which is 72, and half of 72 is going to give you 36 square feet for that one. Okay, 36 square feet. So again, remember, because it's the whole radical squared, it's the 6 squared, and the radical, which is radical 2 squared. Square root of radical 4 is 2. So we end up with 36 times 2, which is 72. And half of 72 is 36. Okay, now I want you to go down to the next page, and we're going to go to letter E. So the directions say find the length of the square's side. So now they're giving us the area, and we have to find the side. So this one's a tricky one because you have the variables involved here. So area equals side squared. Our area is x squared plus 2x plus 1. And we have to find out what the side is. So if we take this and we factor this, our factors of 1 that add up to 2 are 1 and 1. So x plus 1 times x plus 1 is x plus 1 squared. And if we take the square root of each side here, x plus 1 is equal to the side. Again, no unit here, so we could write units, since we don't know if it's feet or inches or centimeters. The last one we're going to go over is 4E. If you read the directions, it says find the length of the square's diagonal when its area is given. So it's the same as the one before, except now we're finding the diagonal instead of finding the side. So let's write out the formula. Area equals 1/2 the diameter squared. So the area is 10. So a couple choices here. You could cross multiply. You could divide each side by 1/2, which is the same as keep, change, flip. So multiplying by 2. So you get 20 equals d squared. So you're going to take the square root of each side here. So you get the square root of 20. So make sure you simplify. The factors of 20 are 4 and 5. So for your diagonal here, you are going to have 2 radical 5 feet. So that's it for our notes for today. What you're going to do, I'm going to post the homework, but what you're going to do is you're going to finish these 2 pages that we just worked on, and you're also going to complete 10.4.1. Don't forget about the week 1 assessment. Again, this isn't going to count as a grade. I'm just going to have you submit it. It will count as a homework assignment. Doesn't matter what you get wrong or right. I want you to do it without your notes so you know what you still need to look over, and I will make corrections on everything for you so you know if there's an area that you're still having trouble with. I hope you guys are staying healthy and safe, and I will talk to you next week. Have a good weekend.